Hello there, lovely. Good morning, and welcome to Camnet Breakfast Show, where we urge you, our viewers out there, to rise and thrive. This Friday morning, wherever you're watching us from, we welcome you to this live broadcast. My name is Joe Smarter, and we have a lot lined up for you this particular morning when it comes to current affairs. One of them is that Mopani Copper Mines was handed over to its new equity partners, and we'll be delving much into that. But for now, let's get into the health corner.
Good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubiana Mufaya. So this week we have been talking about depression, and depression is a condition that usually affects our mood. It affects how we feel and how we respond to our environment. So we talked about how depression comes about because it comes about through either you inherited condition from your relatives or your parents or your grandparents, or it could be because of certain hormones that are not balanced in the body, especially mothers who have just delivered or who have just had a baby, and so they might have postpartum depression, or mothers who have gone through menopause and they are having hormonal imbalances. Then it could also be a result of having insufficient amount of chemicals in the brain, such as serotonin and dopamine, that are very important for transmitting information in the brain. And so if you're lacking in sufficient amounts of these chemicals, then you might have depression. So there are other risk factors that we talked about, such as going through a traumatic experience in your childhood or in the past. It can lead you to have depression. And people also who have personality traits, or certain personality types, that such as melancholy, or people who are always pessimistic or having low self-esteem, can lead to depression. Then people who also abuse alcohol can easily get depressed or have depression. So it's important that we look out for our families who might be abusing alcohol, because they might easily go into depression. Then people who have chronic illnesses like having diabetes, hypertension, or a stroke, they might also get depressed very easily because of the situation that they are in, and so they might feel overwhelmed in terms of managing the condition that they have. Then we discuss some of the symptoms. We say that depression can usually present as people who are having low mood, or a depressed mood, or a sad mood for a very long time, about 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks. Then they might have loss of interest in activities they used to enjoy before. They might also have low concentration when it comes to their work or to their school. They might have slow thinking. They might either be sleeping too much or not sleeping enough, eating too much or not eating enough. They might be fatigued and just feeling overall tiredness. Then we talked about the diagnosis and treatment, and we say that when it comes to diagnosis, people who have depression would be asked certain questions, and based on their responses to those questions, they might be diagnosed with either depression or any other type of mood disorder like bipolar. They might have anxiety or a phobia that they might be experiencing, such as social phobia. So depending on the type of condition that you might be having, you'll be able to receive treatment based on that. As for depression, there are certain medications that are used to treat depression, and we call these medications antidepressants. So there are different classes, and depending on the condition or how severe it is, they might recommend certain drugs for you to take at home to help boost or increase the neurotransmitters such as the serotonins, these neurotransmitters that help to transmit information and just help to keep the brain balanced and help you to have the good mood or good feeling in the body that can help to prevent you from having depression and come out of the depression that you're having. Then there are other therapies as well that help to deal with depression, such as psychotherapy, cognitive therapy, behavior therapy, where you talk to a counselor or a psychiatrist who are trained professionally to deal with mood disorders or mental health disorders. So they will help to uncover certain things that you might not really understand and just help to change certain behaviors or adopt new habits and new behaviors that will help to get you out of the depression and prevent you from having relapses in the future. So today we'll talk about the prevention and some of the complications. So under complications, people who have depression can easily start abusing alcohol and start abusing drugs. So drug abuse and alcohol abuse can either lead to depression or even be a result of somebody who already has depression. So it's important that you take people who are abusing alcohol or substance abuse to see somebody who is trained, a psychiatrist, a counselor, who are trained to help these people come out of this abuse that they might be experiencing. So it could be a result of the depression, or it could be it could result them to have depression. Then people who have depression also can tend to have other illnesses. So they might either have chronic illnesses like hypertension, diabetes, because of their because of them not having good eating habits, where they're not eating well, whether they are eating too much of sugary foods and foods that are not good for their body. So they might end up having diabetes or hypertension and all these other chronic illnesses because they're not taking care of themselves very well because of their mental state at that time. So this can be a result of them having the depression, and either they already had depression before they got the diabetes or hypertension, or the diabetes and hypertension can just be worsened because they're not taking care of themselves very well. So the other complications that may arise is that they might have loss of esteem, and they might have difficulties maybe relating to their family members or relating to their friends or relating to their spouses, and just having good relationships with others because of the depression that they might be going through. So they might have poor relationships, and so it's important that you keep these people very close and just encourage them to form good relationships with others, to talk to other people and not to isolate themselves all the time. And it's important that you check up on such people very often so that they don't feel alone and feel isolated. So how can you prevent yourself from having depression? So if you already have depression, it's important that you understand exactly how to treat or how to go about dealing with this condition. So you need to know that you can get help anytime that you feel you are having these depressive symptoms. So you can easily go to the doctors at the hospital and talk to somebody that can be able to help you and even start you on treatment. So it's important that you seek treatment early and prevent the symptoms from being severe, so that you can be able to treat it very early and just help to live a better life. Then the other thing that you can do is talk to people around you, talk to those that you trust, your friends, your family, and just form good relationships with others so that you can be able to prevent yourself from having these relapses and prevent having suicidal ideations, because it's very easy to start thinking about suicide when you are alone. So it's important that you find spaces where you can be able to reach out to people, talk to people, and let them help you, keep you busy, and keep you out of those depressive episodes. So these are ways that you can prevent yourself from getting depression. Talking to people, and also getting therapy early. So if you have depression, make sure you go to the hospital and just talk to somebody, or get therapy, get treatment as soon as possible. So these are the things that we're talking about this week. I do hope you have learned something. Make sure you watch again next week, as we'll be talking about some other topic. If you have missed any other episodes, you can watch them on my YouTube channel at Dr. Nakubiana Mfaya. Or if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Facebook at Dr. Nakubiana Mfaya. I'll see you again next week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. God bless, and stay healthy.
Okay, now that's a health corner there from our resident doctor. They are giving us an update on health. Now let's quickly go into our money market. Okay, so the United States dollar was buying at 25 kwacha 0.992 ngwe and selling at 26 kwacha 0.43 ngwe. The euro was buying at 28 kwacha 0.25 ngwe and selling at 28 kwacha 0.81 ngwe. The South African rand was buying at 1 kwacha 0.38 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 0.41 ngwe. The Great British Pound was buying at 32 kwacha 0.97 ngwe and selling at 3 kwacha 0.62 ngwe. Remember, these foreign exchange rates have been updated today at 7/29th, and they are for today, 22nd March 2024, and they vary from bureau to bureau and from bank to bank. So those are the exchange rates for today, this particular morning. And of course, I am joined by my colleague Afias Kaptula. Afias, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Good to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you always. It's a Friday. We are closing the week, and we are looking forward to having an awesome discussion as well as an interaction with our viewers out there.
Okay. Now, Afia, something remarkable happened yesterday in the mining sector, and obviously bordering on the Copper Belt economy, and monitoring the president Facebook page. We can read in part that the president has expressed profound gratitude of the launch of Mopani Mines in partnership with a new joint venture partnership, partners rather, International Resource Holdings from Abu Dhabi. This moment, long waited by our citizens, is not a handover but a meticulously negotiated partnership with IRH that represents mutual respect and equitable benefits. Our citizen will retain a 49% shareholding through ZCCMHI IH, affirming our commitment to national benefit. Now, this is a $1.1 billion deal, Afias. And of course, in our story here, it reads that government has handed over Mopani copper mines to International Resource Holdings of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, with a majority shareholding of 51%, following a $1.1 billion United States dollar capital injection. Now, government through Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines Investment Holding, ZCCM IH, retains a 49% share of the mine. Speaking at the handover ceremony in Kitwe, Republican President Mr. Hakainde Hichilema says the strategic move is expected to significantly alleviate the country's debt burden whilst fostering job creation. We go on this particular clip. When we come back, we expect your calls, and of course, myself and Afias will be weighing in on this particular story. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mopani's copper production, abena Mafken, went down to 65,000 metric tons only. With this transaction, the copper production for Mopani will scale up to 230,000 metric tons. Area Shiri, adding on towards our 3 million tons target. This is what you do when you run a country. You don't just walk like you are in the dark room. No. Kulolesha wino alolesha. Wafumamu. Wayamkulala. Ulelo tabwino. No number faria problem to life over shot. Wawererapo na kabini. Wawererapo na kabini. Fellow citizens, with this production increase that we expect, the mine plans we've agreed with our partners, the mine development plans, there will be more jobs. First, there will be security of tenure for the people who work there. Your jobs were fragile because you could lose a job anytime. If the mine is not performing, your job is at stake. Mule kutika? Mule umfa wino.
Okay, thank you so much for still joining us, and that's the clip from the Copper Belt affairs that we had yesterday in our news, where government has handed over Mopani copper mines to International Resource Holdings of the United Arab Emirates. Affairs, Zambia retains 49%, while the investors get 51%. Your 2 cents.
Well, I think just from the share between government and the new company, I think it is coming out of very tough negotiations. And I think when you look at this share, it's not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal?
It's not a bad deal on my view. From my view, it's not a bad deal. I know many other people out there have their own sentiments, but look at it. That's a difference of 1%. It's a difference
49, 51?
Yes, it's a difference of 1%. We don't have machinery, we don't have the equipment. So I think for me, if that 49% and 51% is going to reflect in the share of profits, I think we are good to go.
We're good to go.
I think we need to wait and give government, President Ichilem and the Minister of Mines, the benefit of doubt. At least we wait and see. In terms of profits, the declaration through ZCCMIH, when they're going to be declaring the dividends, I think the negotiations are going to reflect in the profits, and it's not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal. 49% and 51%, and this is a 1.1 billion United States dollar capital injection. This affairs comes at the backdrop of the commitments and pledges that were made by investors late last year, totaling to 60 billion United States dollars, and this is actually one of them. Are we going to see the economy of the Copper Belt improving, Afias?
I think we're in the right direction.
Okay.
I think this is the start. We now await to see how Vendetta moves into KCM. Of course, they already started with the $25 million injection there for some payments. What we must be talking about is also building capacity going forward, because this is a partnership. You know, from a partnership, you have to get capacity, to get expertise. Yes.
True.
Those others who are saying no, we're supposed to own the mines. I feel we have not done very much in terms of internalization of capacity to run the mines. I think from such a partnership, it's not a bad one. What we must do is, what are we learning from it?
From these partnerships that we're having.
Yes, we need to learn from this partnership. Remember, the president has said that even in this constituency development fund, is urging people to go into partnerships with the others who are doing well, these companies. So that as you are in that partnership, you're also learning. At some point, you take over. And we, quite right, it's bad. We are 60 years after independence.
After independence.
We could have done better, but there's always a start. From the president, he's saying that these negotiations had a thought of Zambians at every point, and you could see that for them to reach at that 49%, what are we bringing in? Of course, we found the minerals, but you need the capital, you need the the market know-how in terms of all these things. And I feel we should learn from this. Going forward, the ownership in mines should reflect such a one, and we build capacity. We at some point we own our mines.
Okay. Now, obviously, this again reminds me of 2020. Now, in 2020, I keep on saying this during the presidential address to Parliament. The then former president said that when government and mining companies or investors in the mining sector come to the negotiating table, government is always twisted. Is there twisting in this particular deal which gives Zambia 49% and the partners 51%? Can we say there's twisting in this particular deal? What has changed? I want to find out what has changed from then and now. What has really changed? Because like you are saying, you've noted and observed that this is a good deal for the Zambians.
Yes.
But we had such sentiments in the past. So my question is, what has changed now?
I think what we can say has changed is just the negotiations. You know, you know, these negotiations, they are heated. Those guys, they are experts. But what we must know is that these minerals are in our country, and it is ourselves to develop ourselves. And I think that is the direction even from the president, that this one is going to increase copper production to about 2,030 metric tons, as well as about 2,000 direct jobs for the Zambians. So I think in negotiations, you must always put yourself first, in as much as you would want a partnership also to benefit the other side. So I think in these negotiations, as I've said, let's wait and see the operations kickstart. The dividends, they should be coming in. I think then we can now say, no, it was a bad deal, it was not a good. I think it's too early to say so.
It's too early.
Even my comment, it's too early, but just on paper.
Okay.
On paper, it's a good deal. 49 to 51.
49 to 51.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Now, Afias, again, still on this matter, because obviously we need to make sure that our viewers out there are adequately informed. Now, you do remember that previously we had, for instance, when you talk about maybe recruitments in the defense force, recruitments in the teaching sector or a health sector, you'd find that the whole country, 1,500 will be recruited. The whole country.
Oh yeah.
Yes, maybe 2,000 at most will be recruited. But now we are seeing a mine that will be able to offer 2,000 jobs to the Zambians.
Oh yeah.
Surely, Afias, I'm still asking you, even though you're saying your comment is too early, but I'm still asking you, isn't this deal too good to be true to the Zambians after being subjected to such?
No, it's not only the 2,000. We also have those who are going to be employed indirectly through the contractors and also
suppliers.
A mine, a fully operational mine is a type of activities. There's food supply, all these things. I feel it's something just from the employment side. It's something that should be commended. I feel let's also get a reaction from one of the stakeholders. They are commenting on that. I feel to also shed more light on the deal. Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Banda, who is the executive director for Advocates for National Development and Democracy (ANDD), has welcomed government's move to hand over Mopani copper mines to International Resource Holdings. Now, Mr. Banda says that he looks forward to similar gesture at Konkola Copper Mines. Mr. Banda is confident that once the two mining companies begin to operate fully, the country's economy will boost. We do have a clip. We'll be right back.
We want to indicate further that this development will make a vital contribution towards helping government achieve its ambitious target of 3 million metric tons copper production target per annum. We are now looking forward to also see that other mining giants in our country start operating effectively. Konkola Copper Mine needs to start operating effectively and equally make a vital contribution to our country in terms of restoring socio-economic growth, enhancing socio-economic development. In this regard, we want to appeal to President Hakainde Hichilema to ensure that all the remaining legal issues regarding Vendata and KCM are addressed within the first quarter of 2024 so that Vendata can begin to implement their attractive strategic investment commitments with a state KCM so that it can contribute enhancing economic and social development, create the market employment and business opportunity for Zambians, and help in addressing other economic challenges such as the continued depreciation of the kwacha. We believe that once these two giant mine firms, KCM and Mopani, begin to effectively running at optimum level, as a country will be able to change our economic trajectory, grow our domestic economy.
2024 will mark 60 years since Zambia became independent on October 24th, 1964, from the British colonial rule. The then Prime Minister Kenneth Kaunda became the country's first president. Government has since flagged off celebrations for the Diamond Jubilee independence celebrations under the theme 60 Years Strong, honoring our heritage, embracing our future.
Our citizens still remain subjects of many negative vices, and one that I've picked among those many is squalor, as well as unsanitary living conditions. And this is the reason why, Madam Vice President, the theme sits right at the heart of the activities of my ministry and our promise to yourselves who are supervising us is that we are going to do everything possible to make sure that we sanitize our country using the laws that exist.
Republican Vice President Mutaina Rumango launched the celebration, which was coupled with the unveiling of the theme.
Our heritage, embracing our future.
In her address, Ms. Narumango urged citizens to embrace unity in diversity if the country is to develop.
Go and read this scripture. For there, where there is unity, God commands a blessing. Yes. There is a commanded blessing in unity. You can work very hard, but if you're not working towards unity, the blessing of the Lord lacks, and therefore you work.
Ms. Narumango has since urged all citizens, regardless of political affiliation or tribe, to embrace Zambia's core founding principles.
Government has stood strong. You can bear testimony to this, that we have. President Hakainde has ensured that there is no carderism, no violence. This is a good beginning of as we forge ahead in the years to come, therefore, it is important that all these critical success factors that have underpinned our nation's stability remain founded in peace, security, and political stability.
Meanwhile, Freedom Fighters Association representative Chapa Chikamba has urged youth to heed advice from adults if they are to carry on with the country's legacy.
To steer clear from vices that destroy our lives. Alcohol, chamba, Drugs of all sorts. Yes, you can say you are enjoying today, but those things are various side effects which will begin to show even before you reach 20 or 30.
In impressing the fight against climate change, Mr. Mango used the event to plant a tree, disclosing that government will soon launch a nationwide Plant a Tree for Each Family Member campaign. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Okay, thank you so much for still joining us. Now, that was the Vice President, obviously talking about the 60 years of Zambia being independent, and that's the Diamond Jubilee. Then, as Zambia gets into, if it's a human being working, it will be retirement. Not so, comrade.
It's retirement, comrade. You're supposed to get your benefits. We're supposed to go to NAPSA.
Okay, now in our main interview, we do have individuals from the Safety for People on the Move, which is a non-government organization that advocates for safer use of public roads by all road users. They also advocate for cleaner and sustainable transport for a cleaner and pollution-free Zambia. We are seated on my left, obviously, is the president, Ms. Chifuesa Kauma, and on my far left is Mr. Collins Mwape. And these two individuals speak to us. Afias?
Yeah, I think issues of road safety are very important. They are a daily life, just like food, because we all on the move. We are all on the move, just as the organization suggests. Maybe just to kickstart the interview, Madam President, you can just tell us a bit about your organization and just the thought about it.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. Safety for People on the Move is a non-governmental organization, like he said earlier. We advocate for safer use of public roads by all road users. So we are all road users. I always say this when I go on media platforms. The notion we have, most of us have, is a road user is just the driver. Okay. You see, the road belongs to a driver. But that is not the case, because there are so many road users. We have vulnerable children, we have vulnerable people like old people. We have our friends in the wheelchairs. Yeah, so we have the cyclists, we have animals. So the road is not just about the driver. So our organization advocates for the safer use of public roads by all road users, meaning everybody should be safe on our roads. Yes.
Maybe just to bring in the Secretary General, Mr. Collins, when we look at the rate of road traffic accident, in 2022 we had about 33,000, in 2023 we had 36,000. This shows, though in deaths we had a bit of a reduction, but this still shows a concerning trend in terms of road traffic accidents. How do you describe the road safety profile of Zambia currently?
Yes, of course. When you look at the numbers, yes, they are very much alarming. And there's no way we can just sit and watch. So, of course, despite reducing, the numbers are still very, very high. And we are very proud as Safety for People on the Move to come into this fraternity to fight and advocate or champion a zero tolerance of accidents and these are fatalities. Of course, we have to work so hard because we don't want and we cannot afford to lose quite huge numbers of people, you know, who are supposed to contribute positively to the growth of this economy, of our economy as a nation. So we have to, we're lining up a lot of educating programs and awareness so that really we make people learn and probably develop a positive attitude as far as usage of these roads is concerned.
Okay, maybe on that one again, Secretary General, let me find out. We noticed that most of the pedestrians are school-going children. So, are you having any sensitization programs in schools to educate or to sensitize the learners about road safety?
Of course, we do have, but at the moment we haven't yet executed because there are some other things that we are doing. But I can assure you that definitely we are going that direction. We are also supposed to be doing school safe zones where we identify the school which is of course more vulnerable, and we go there to intervene by way of putting up the zebra crossing and those signages and the like. So yes, we have to educate. Educate is our core, is our main program here, and we will definitely go to schools, but we have so far not yet gone to any school, but we have a program.
But it's in the pipeline?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Ms. President, let me come to you. Are you engaging, let's say, taxi owners, bus driver owners, and rights in making sure that there's road safety on the road?
Thank you so much for that question. Road safety is complex, and there's so many stakeholders out there. RATSA on its own, we know they work so hard to ensure that there is safety on our roads. But if you look at a country like Zambia, we are so many people. I think they're having a hard time to reach out to everyone in every corner of this country. That is why organizations like ours come in to supplement the efforts of the Road Safety Agency. So we have a number of stakeholders that we are working with. We have supporters, we have well-wishers who come on board, and then we say, okay, let us work on this particular project, and we just work together in that regard. So at the moment, we are working together with One Expert. It's a betting company, but as part of their corporate social responsibility, they have decided to also be part of road safety. So you see, road safety is not just for some people, it is for everyone. Everyone is supposed to be in this fight, so that we ensure that we reduce the number of people dying on our roads. I just saw that last year we lost about 3,000 people dying. That is a very worrying number. For me, any number above 0 is worrying. So we cannot sit back and say, no, there was a bit of a reduction in the third quarter, fourth quarter, so no, we are moving in the right direction. No, as long as there's even one person dying, even today, it should be a worrying thing to each and every one of us, even to the media. So we are working on this project, and it's called Smart Driver of the Month, which will be launched on Tuesday next week, on the 26th of March. So we'll be at a government complex with our stakeholders. So let me just run you through this project quickly. It is aimed at educating drivers, sensitization, which is part of road safety, education is part of the 4 E's of road safety. So we've picked the education part, and on this particular project, our partners, One Expert, are going to be giving an incentive. We will be running a quiz on their page. This will be a road safety quiz, and the participants of that quiz should have a valid driving license. So if you have a valid driving license, you can go to the One Expert Facebook page. It's called One Expert Bookmaker in Zambia. Go to the page and participate in the questions. Every month we'll be throwing 5 questions, and if you answer all those questions correctly, 5 of them, and you follow the One Expert page, you follow the People on the Move page on our social media handle, then you qualify to be in the draw. So at the end of the month, at the end of each month, by the way, this project is going to run from March up until December.
Okay.
Yes. So every month we have and we are going to give away an incentive, and this is 10,000 kwacha. So we'll pick a winner. And then when we pick a name, it's not automatic that that person automatically wins. We will now at this point engage the road safety, the Road Transport and Safety Agency, I beg your pardon. We will take the name there, and also to other stakeholders like the Bus and Taxi Owners Association of Zambia, do a background check on that name. If they have not been convicted, or they do not have any record of any traffic violation, then they will get that 10,000 kwacha incentive.
Okay.
Yes, and then it's not only the incentive, we also have another partner, Belsam Driver Training School. They also offered to be giving 2 winners some defensive driver and first aid training. So you see, just to impart knowledge as they are learning, you know, when you ask a question, we throw a question, like for example, the current question on the running on the page is, what is the maximum speed limit in school zones in Zambia? You see, so they may not win, but at least at the end of the month we'll post the correct question, and obviously it will be knowledge now. So that's the what we're currently working on, and we really wish we have more educative programs lined up. We won't go into detail, but we have a calendar, and we have partners that are willing to be part of that calendar and make sure that everyone benefits from the education, the road safety education.
The issue of the behavior of drivers still remain a concern, especially these taxi drivers on our roads, because they pick customers anywhere. There is always just that chaos. Any other programs that you are thinking of, especially targeting the drivers?
Yes, thank you very much. The bus, this project is actually targeting the bus drivers, okay, the PSV drivers, passenger.
Okay.
Yes, I mentioned that road safety has got 4 E's: the engineering part, the enforcement part, the education, and also the emergency, where you attend the emergency, taking care of accident victims. I don't know if I've said that correctly. Yes, so these 4 E's will not, they're the pillars of road safety. So everyone should do their part. Engineering, do we have correct signage? Do we have the correct roads? The enforcement part, are our law enforcers doing their role? The education, organizations like ours, are we educating people on road safety? You know, you can have perfect roads, you can have beautiful roads being constructed, but there is no signage. That means the engineering part is lacking. There is no education. Zebra crossing ilipo, but you know, you find people crossing at a designated and safe place. So this is where education comes in. So these 4 pillars should, when we blend these pillars together, you find that it's going to work. But we will educate people, and then the law enforcers are not doing their part. You teach people, okay, do not do this, and then the law enforcers should also supplement what we are teaching by arresting the offenders. Okay, so when we start working together in that regard, I can assure you things are going to work. The law enforcers taking upon themselves seriously to arrest the offenders and punish them, and also the educators like us, we educate. The engineers also do their part. There's a lot of reports that a lot of unmarked harms, a lot of signage, there are a lot of roads that do not have adequate signage. So you see, there are a lot of lapses here and there. But when we bring these things together nicely, you see we are going to move forward as a nation.
I didn't get the four pillars. You can just, for the sake of our viewers, I got the engineering, the enforcement, the education. I didn't get the last one.
Emergency attendance to accident victims.
Oh, it's emergency, the last E. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so more like providing first aid.
First aid, yes.
Okay.
Because it's required that when you, as a driver, you encounter a road traffic accident, you at least check on the accident, those who are involved in the accident.
And some buses do not have first aid kits.
These are some of the challenges, comrade, that are.
So you have a lot of work to do.
Too much.
SG, coming to you, how do you intend to achieve a cleaner and pollution-free Zambia?
Let me first of all start by also commenting on the bus drivers.
Okay.
We have the bus drivers, and we also have vulnerables. in like school-going children, and also generally the pedestrians. So last year we did conduct a play for safety tournament, which we targeted mostly the bus drivers. So all the bus stations in Lusaka, starting with City Market, Millennium, and Kulima Tower, we had participating teams from them, because we wanted to bring them together, and so that we can have a wonderful time, and at least an opportunity to convey our message to them. At least we had to discuss some of the things that we are talking about here. Of course, some of the attitudes that we see very bad in as far as driving is concerned. So we did talk to them during that tournament. And also pollution. We want to encourage people, instead of using most of the cars, we can walk sometimes, you know, and you park your vehicle and you just take a walk. You know, it is very important and very it's very important, and it's working. It can help very much, because you know, there is this your body, of course, who have some exercise, a little bit of exercise here and there, and you become fit in the end, instead of sitting all the time and driving. You know, it's not so good. So in as far as health is concerned, yes, we're encouraging most people who have vehicles sometimes to park and just take a walk where possible. And yeah, I think that is the other thing I can talk about is cycling. You know, cycling also is also good for your healthy. So these are the areas that we are so much concentrating on, to educate the people that despite these things being overlooked, they are quite important and beneficial. Okay, so this is what we are here to do.
All right. Well, viewers, this morning our major topic that we've been looking at is government handing over Mopani copper mines to International Resource Holdings. The event which took place yesterday, the president, the ministers, and some members of parliament were on the copper belt. However, just about now, we were discussing road safety with the president of the Safety for People on the Move, as well as the Secretary General. Just your concluding remarks as we come to the end of the show this morning.
Ladies first.
Okay,
Madam
thank you.
President.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, it is very worrying to lose even one life. It is not acceptable. We should not accept what is not acceptable. Losing a life is not easy. And it's not only lives that we are losing from these accidents, we are also, people are coming out with permanent injuries. So if you have a number like 6,000 permanently injured persons,
Severely injured.
can you see the impact it's having on our economy? How do you have, because when you are not, you are limited to some things. If you are a breadwinner and then all of a sudden you are inclined to a wheelchair, how are you going to provide for your family? So this, we should take road safety very, very seriously as a nation. And all of us, I challenge each and every one of us, the media, all stakeholders, to be parts of this education campaign. Let's ensure that we all do our part. The engineers do their part, the law enforcers also do their part.
Their part, yes.
Yes, and then we'll see how well we move together and hopefully reduce the number of people dying on our roads.
SJ, you can conclude.
Thank you. Let us develop brother's keeper attitude. Okay, accidents are not good because they negatively affect families, even government at large, in as far as the economy is concerned, robbing us of those people who are potentially can contribute to the economy of our nation. So we must have the culture, attitude of being so careful as we are driving for the sake of our lives, and also for the sake of others who are using the roads. So I think it's very important.
Just one last thing, sorry.
Yes.
We are inviting you, okay? You should come and be part of the launch on Tuesday. Don't forget. Mark it, put it in your diary.
Sure,
On the
no,
26th.
we'll be there.
26th, oh, you'll be here, huh?
No,
it will be at 9 hours.
we're
By
going
then
to
you
be
had
there.
finished your
Yes,
breakfast
yes.
show.
No, we'll
So,
be there, definitely.
yeah, please come through, and we also invite other media houses. Come and interact with us as an organization as we launch the Smart Driver of the Month at Government Complex 9 hours on Tuesday next week.
All right. No, thank you very much for making an appearance on the breakfast this morning. Comrade, I think we're coming to the end of the program. However, the discussion do continue and also carries over to social media. Did you check social media today, or you have neglected?
I have checked social media.
You are going back into the
No, I have checked social media, and I'm glad to note that Mr. George Malama is tuned in from Kabwe. He calls it the city of salvation.
Wow.
And also Mr. Raphael Chimwe, thank you so much. Mr. Bruce Lombe Musamba, thank you so much for tuning in. And Mr. Peter Katongo, thank you so much for tuning in. Comrade?
Yeah, and for those who have been watching us via the usual platform, which is GoTV and DSTV, as well as Topstar, and other online platforms such as YouTube, from us in the studio here, it's a good day. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time.
Okay.